The $1 million stallion, Relampago, exploded into the air, a coil of black fury.
Another Hall of Fame idiot in the dirt. Someone get me a jockey who can stay on.
3 world-class riders had been thrown in under 10 minutes, the horse snorting like a cornered beast. Through the chaos, a 13-year-old stable boy with curly black hair and a manure-stained hoodie walked past with a metal water bucket. The stallion's head snapped toward the boy. Ears pricked forward. The bucking stopped. Relampago lowered his massive head and nuzzled the boy's shoulder, following him like a giant puppy.
This horse is my future. 2 weeks to the Derby, and he acts like a rodeo bronc.
The arguing owners and trainers whipped around to see the stallion, now calm, glued to a boy nobody had ever noticed.
Who is that kid? Somebody tell me why that animal follows him.
The boy hesitated, his large brown eyes glancing back at the horse, but he kept walking, and the horse kept following. The following morning, before the sun burned through the mist, trainer Charlie Hanley crept to the paddock alone.
I've never seen a horse switch off like that. It's like he knows that kid from somewhere.
Hanley steadied his phone against a fence post, the screen capturing a scene the racing world would pay to witness.
Easy. Big guy. You are not as scary as they think, are you?
The stallion buried his muzzle in the boy's chest, a soft nicker rumbling through the stall.
This is the answer. 2 weeks to the Derby, and the only person this horse trusts is a stable hand.
My dad would have loved seeing you like this.
Hanley's finger hovered over the stop button. He had enough. He had more than enough.
Whitfield will pay a fortune to know this. Maybe I can finally get out from under him.
Pocketing the video, Hanley walked back toward the main stable, the footage burning a hole in his pocket. Within the hour, Hanley found Donald Whitfield in his private office, shouting into the phone at another terrified trainer.
Forget the jockeys, Mr. Whitfield. I found the only person that horse will let near him.
He thrust the phone across the desk, video playing. The stallion, calm as a church horse, nuzzled a boy in a gray hoodie.
That's a child, a stable hand. You expect me to believe this is the answer?
Whitfield grabbed the phone and watched it again, the muscles in his jaw working like feverish gears.
Find out who he is, who he belongs to. I want every scrap of information.
By noon, a manila folder landed on the desk. Tyler Vega, 13, orphan, no relatives. Foster care in a peeling house 20 miles away.
An orphan with no one to fight for him. Perfect.
The plan crystallized. Legal guardianship. Control the boy, and the horse would follow. The Derby purse, insured for millions, would be his. He crushed his cigar and dialed his lawyer, setting a trap for a boy who had no idea he was being hunted. A black sedan crunched to a halt in front of the foster home, its engine ticking in the evening silence.
Mrs. Patterson, a simple business proposition. I need the boy's help with a thoroughbred, and I am willing to pay for temporary legal guardianship.
He flipped open a leather briefcase, the stacks of $100 bills catching the dim kitchen light.
Guardianship? Tyler's just a kid. What exactly do you want with him?
The horse listens to him. 2 weeks of cooperation, and after the Derby, you'll never hear from me again. Just a much richer woman.
He slid a thick envelope across the table, the paper worn soft from counting.
The money could fix everything, but this feels like selling him.
From the hallway, Tyler pressed his ear against the doorframe, his heart thudding.
They're talking about me. Why would anyone want guardianship?
The words were muffled, but the oily confidence in Whitfield's voice made his skin crawl. Across town, a plain brown envelope landed on the newsroom desk of investigative journalist Elena Marquez.
Whitfield Stables. Irregular high-value coverage on Relampago. Someone's either brave or stupid.
Elena logged into the insurance exchange and started pulling public filings on every policy tied to the horse.
12 million guaranteed, plus a rider for partnership liability. That's not standard for a single horse.
A tiny footnote in a scanned 3-year-old filing caught her eye, subject to junior partnership interest.
Junior partnership. On $1 million asset. That's a hidden slice of the pie someone forgot to mention.
She grabbed her laptop and moved to the corner cafe, needing silence to dig deeper into the buried filings.
Whitfield has everyone scared, but scared people make mistakes.
By noon, she had the name of the track's insurance adjuster and a sealed file request for the original breeding contract.
If I am right, this isn't just about a temperamental horse. It's about what someone wanted to bury.
That night, Whitfield's voice boomed through the thin walls again, demanding an answer by morning.
What does that man really want? This isn't about the horse.
Tyler slipped out the back, running the 20 miles by memory, the barn his only sanctuary.
Everyone wants a piece of you, boy, but you only trust me. Why is that?
The stallion exhaled deeply, lowering his head until his muzzle touched the boy's cheek. A memory surfaced. A younger man with calloused hands, kneeling beside a jet-black foal in the straw. The man's laugh was silent in the memory, but Tyler knew it. His father, Marco.
Dad was always trailing me to the barn. He said this foal was special.
Tyler reached into his pocket and unfolded a worn photograph. His father, arm draped over the same horse's neck, years ago.
Relampago knew my father. That's why he trusts me. But what really happened to Dad?
The next afternoon, Elena found Charlie Hanley in the shadow of the barn, rubbing liniment into a leather girth.
You've been around this horse since he was a yearling, Mr. Hanley. Is there anything you'd rather not tell me?
I am a hired hand. I don't get paid for my opinions.
Elena stepped closer, flipping to a blank page in her notebook. A silent dare.
Then maybe you'll get paid for silence. But I am curious about the junior partner listed on the breeding contract. Ring any bells?
She knows about the partnership. If I say anything, Whitfield will destroy me.
Hanley's hands stilled. He glanced toward the main house, as if the walls had ears.
Look, the original groom was a guy named Marco. He died. That's all I know.
He turned away, but Elena caught the tremor in his voice. There was more.
Marco. A dead groom with a stake in the horse. Time to crack open the county archives.
The next morning, a black sedan crunched up the Foster home's gravel again. This time with a sharp-suited lawyer in tow.
Sign the papers, Mrs. Patterson. The money's waiting. Refuse, and we'll crush you in court.
I didn't ask for this. He's just a boy, not a pawn.
The lawyer opened the briefcase, revealing another stack of cash and a single-page document.
I am out of options. This is the only way to keep a roof over our heads.
From the hallway, Tyler held his phone against the doorframe, the red record dot pulsing.
She's being bullied. This recording shows they pressured her.
Miss Patterson's hand shook as the pen scratched across the signature line, tears slipping down her cheek.
Done. The boy is ours for the next 2 weeks. Have him at the track by noon.
Tyler pocketed the phone, the weight of the evidence heavy against his thigh, his plan now forming. By noon, Tyler walked straight into the stable alley, his eyes fixed on Charlie Hanley's back.
You filmed me. You handed me over like a tool. How much did he pay you?
I don't get to say no. Whitfield owns my contract, my house, my future.
The excuse was honest, and that made it worse. A man who sold a boy because he was too frightened to refuse.
Tyler, exactly the young man I need. Walk with me. The stallion trusts no one else. Ride him in the derby like you do every morning, and I'll make you a very wealthy young man.
He thinks I am just a stupid kid who'll dance for money. Play along, Tyler. Let him believe he's won. Whatever the horse needs, sir, I'll do it.
Perfect. A pawn that doesn't even know the game.
Tyler walked toward the stallion's stall, his hand around the phone in his pocket, the war just beginning. Elena pushed open the heavy doors of the county records office, dust swirling in the fluorescent light. From a steel cabinet, she pulled a crumbling folder, the original Relampago breeding contract, sealed 3 years ago. Her finger stopped on a line that froze her breath. Marco Vega, 18% of all career earnings.
18%. This wasn't a groom with a tip. It was a stake worth millions.
Tucked behind the contract was Marco's grooming log. Daily entries in careful script, ending abruptly 3 years ago.
He stopped writing the week before Relampago's first big race. The week a stable accident killed him. This isn't just about a hidden heir. Someone profited from his death, and Whitfield insured the horse right after.
She snapped photos of every page, even the faint coffee ring on the final entry.
Got you, Whitfield. This contract puts you in prison for fraud, theft, and maybe worse.
She picked up the phone, fingers already dialing the number for the state insurance fraud division. Elena was waiting for him on the manicured driveway, the contract folder clutched like a weapon.
Marco Vega, 18%. Your insurance policy covers a dead man's fortune. Explain that.
You are digging in graves. Walk away, or I'll bury you too.
Security guards burst from the house, but Elena was already raising her phone, the shutter clicking on his panic.
You just signed your career's death sentence. No one will touch that story.
3 hours later, the first headline went live: Derby favorite's secret partner, an 18% ghost. By morning, a dozen outlets had picked up the scent, and Whitfield's phone rang off the hook with angry investors.
She's not bluffing. If the investors pull out, I am ruined.
This is only the first wedge. The real story is Marco's death, and I am going to drive it home.
The story splashed across every sports page, but Whitfield remained free, for now, as the whispers of fraud grew louder. In the quiet of the stable, Tyler sat on a hay bale, staring at the worn photograph of his father.
There's more to that picture than you know, Tyler. May I show you?
She knelt beside him, laying the contract open to the line his father had signed. 18%.
18%? My dad was a partner?
His voice cracked, the paper shaking in his hand.
This whole time, I thought they just wanted me for the horse. They stole my father's life.
I believe his death wasn't an accident. Whitfield insured Relampago the day after. 12 million. Your father's stake made him a target.
A single tear rolled down Tyler's cheek, but he didn't wipe it away. His jaw set.
What do you need from me? I'll do anything to make this right.
In that moment, the alliance was forged, and the fight for Marco Vega's justice began.
They pulled the story, Whitfield threatened the paper, and you just caved?
She sprinted home to find her door kicked in, her notes scattered, and a message painted on the wall.
This isn't just a threat, it's a confession. He's terrified of the truth.
With a burner phone and a single bag, she slipped into a diner booth, hood up, eyes on the door.
Tyler, it's Elena. They trashed my place. I am lying low. Keep training. I'll send you what I have when it's safe.
The message sent. She snapped the SIM card in half and dropped it into a coffee cup. Her editor, now a pawn, had been forced to print a retraction, but Elena had one more card to play.
Whitfield thinks silence is cheap. He'll learn it costs everything.
In the rubble of her apartment, a single photo of Marco Vega remained untouched, a reminder of why she had to finish this. From that moment, the investigation went underground, with only a boy and a horse as her allies. 3 days later, Miss Patterson stumbled into the stable. Eyes raw, her apology already trembling on her lips.
Tyler, I am sorry. That man forced me to sign. I didn't know he'd hurt you.
I know. I recorded everything. You don't have to be afraid anymore.
He pressed play on the phone, the sound of Whitfield's threats echoing in the quiet barn.
You had this the whole time? Then we can stop him.
There's a reporter helping me. We need to get this to her.
That evening, in a shadowed parking lot, Miss Patterson pressed a small USB drive into Elena's palm.
It's all there. The recording and my sworn statement. I'll testify if I have to. This is enough to challenge the guardianship and reopen the investigation. Thank you.
With the evidence secured, the tide began to turn, but the Derby was only days away. A newly assigned insurance investigator walked the stable in a trench coat, measuring gate widths and photographing bolts. He found the retired stable hand, who had kept silent for 3 years, afraid of Whitfield's reach. The old man's voice shook as he described seeing Whitfield return to the barn that night, carrying a heavy bucket, looking satisfied. The investigator compared the confession to the original accident report, the details didn't align. A previously hidden security feed surfaced, a time-stamped figure entering the stable alone, hours before the body was found. On the evidence board, red string now connected Whitfield's photo to Marco Vega's contract and the insurance policy. By noon, the coroner's office reclassified Marco Vega's death suspicious, pending criminal investigation.
They're digging into Marco's case. I need to bury this before it reaches a courtroom.
Whitfield slammed the phone down, his empire trembling on a dead groom's name. The noose around him tightened, but the derby and the boy at the center of everything was only 4 days away. Under the halo of a single bulb, Tyler found Hanley in the office, staring at an old photo of Marco.
I know everything, and I am riding him in the derby for my father.
You are 13. The stewards will never allow it. Whitfield will crush you.
Then we give them no choice. Train me at night. No one has to know until we're at the gate.
Hanley gripped the stopwatch, then nodded. Hours later, under a cold moon, the track came alive. Relampago exploded along the rail, Tyler flat on his neck, a single creature of muscle and trust.
This is what Dad trained him for. It's like he's been waiting for me.
Faster than any jockey we've had. He might actually pull it off.
In the morning, Tyler stood in borrowed silks, the sunrise painting his resolve in gold.
The only person who can stop me now is Whitfield, and he's already lost.
A shadowy figure in a suit handed the injunction to the steward at the stable gate, Whitfield's last legal weapon. From a corner cafe, Elena's fingers flew across a burner laptop, sending the audio recording and contract scans to every network.
This is the story that will end him.
Within the hour, the coercion audio played nationwide. Whitfield's voice, refuse and we'll crush you in court. By noon, protesters lined the stable gates, signs reading, "Let Tyler ride" and "Justice for Marco Vega."
They're fighting for me. I won't let them down.
The Derby officials, buckling under the media storm, issued a statement. Tyler Vega would ride Relampago. Whitfield threw the phone at the wall. The guardianship was worthless.
Let him ride. I'll deal with the insurance mess later.
The boy who had been invisible now stood at the center of the racing world, ready to ride for his father's legacy. The Kentucky Derby morning broke over Churchill Downs, a cathedral of noise for the 150,000 souls packing the grandstand. In the paddock, cameras swarmed the black stallion and the 13-year-old in borrowed crimson silks.
He's calm. He knows it's race day.
Whitfield shoved through the crowd, face twisted, waving a last-minute ownership challenge.
That boy is my legal ward. You can't let a child destroy this horse's career.
The stewards didn't even glance at the paper. The order had come from racing authorities. The boy rides.
Dad, I am doing this for you. Just help me stay on for 2 minutes.
Hanley boosted Tyler onto the saddle, their eyes meeting for a split second before the boy gathered the reins. The starting gate slammed open, and 12 thoroughbreds exploded onto the dirt. Relampago breaking cleanly from the forehole. He settled into rhythm as the roar of the crowd swallowed the world. The race now in the hands of a boy and his horse. Down the backstretch, Relampago settled into a ground-eating stride, his muscles churning beneath Tyler like a living engine. A gap opened along the rail. Tyler asked with his hands, and the stallion sliced through the pack, ears flat. In the grandstand, thousands rose to their feet, the collective gasps swallowing the trumpeter's call.
Come on, boy. For Dad.
Relampago surged, a bolt of black lightning, and suddenly they were running second, the roar merging into one deafening note. They crossed the wire 6 lengths clear, the announcer's voice cracking with disbelief. For a split second, the world held its breath. Then 150,000 people erupted, a wall of sound shaking the grandstand. Tyler raised one hand to the sky, a salute to the man who had started it all. The timer read a record, but the victory wasn't about speed. It was about a promise kept. A 13-year-old stable boy had just won the Kentucky Derby by 6 lengths. In the winner's circle, the silver Derby trophy was thrust into Tyler's hands as the infield erupted in flashbulbs.
Dad, I did it. They can't take this from us.
Then the crowd parted. Federal agents in dark suits marched toward Donald Whitfield.
Get your hands off me. I am the legal owner of that horse.
The agent's voice cut through the noise, reading the charges: insurance fraud, conspiracy, and obstruction. The gold pocket watch chain snapped as the cuffs closed around his wrists. Over the loudspeaker, an official confirmed Marco Vega's death had been reclassified as suspicious, and Tyler Vega was the rightful heir to 18% of all earnings. Whitfield was shoved through the crowd, his empire crumbling with every step. A later booking photo showed him in an orange jumpsuit, the arrogance finally erased. Tyler pressed his forehead to Relampago's neck, the boy who had been invisible now standing in the light. The next morning, Tyler walked alone through the cemetery gate, the winner's rose blanket folded over his arm.
I did it, Dad. We won the Derby. I wish you could have seen it.
He draped the red blanket across the headstone, the silk catching the morning light like a flame. From his pocket, he pulled the old photograph and tucked it beneath the blanket, a promise fulfilled.
Thank you for teaching me to love him. He'll never be alone again.
Later, in the quiet stable, Relampago nickered softly and pressed his muzzle into the boy's chest. No cameras, no crowd, just the horse and the boy. Exactly as it had started, Tyler led the stallion out into the early morning light, walking the fence line his father once walked. He looked at the photograph one last time, then slipped it back into his pocket, a smile finally breaking through. The invisible boy had become the champion, and his father's legacy would run forever. A television flickered in a quiet living room, the news anchor's voice carrying the final chapter. Donald Whitfield was sentenced to 20 years for conspiracy and fraud, his racing empire dismantled. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed as the gavel fell, cameras recording the end of a dynasty. The screen showed a still of Whitfield in prison orange, the gold chain replaced by an inmate number. Across the country, a different image unfolded: a boy and a black stallion under an ancient oak. Tyler sat in the tall grass, Relampago grazing beside him, the sunset painting the sky in amber and rose. He held no trophy now, just a tattered photo of a man who had believed in a foal. The horse lifted his head, ears forward, as if listening to a voice only he could hear. Then boy and horse stood together, silhouettes against the fading light, a promise kept. The farm that had been a battleground was now a sanctuary, and the invisible boy had finally been seen.